Hello, welcome to the latest Mo10i tutorial. I'm just going to go through my latest track and kind of go through every element of the song and show you how I made it. Just going to load up the track real quick. Right now we're looking at the arrangement view, which is my kind of how I ended up recording it all at the end. And I'll just play real quick.
Yes, we are different because we don't take money from corporate advertisers. Democracy.Now.
So anyway, that's just the beginning of what I recorded. And I'm going to select everything right now and just delete it all. And we're going to start over in this tutorial. I'm going to go back over to the clip view. And you can see it's really quite a simple set. It's just really one clip per track, 10 different tracks, and not even a clip on the last track. And everything should be MIDI mapped. Check that out. There we go. You can see the sliders down there controlling the volume. Okay, I was just checking some mappings here. So the first track I really worked on, I'm going to go in that order, was this bongo track here. We'll just turn this up. Press play. And down here you'll see I have killer bongos as the instrument that I'm working on. This is an instrument rack and it's got two layers. Basically just two drum racks set on top of each other. I've got a drum rack here with a couple samples and a drum rack over here with a couple samples. And actually, so when a note plays on the first one, it's also playing on the second one at the same exact time. This up to 0. I'm going to mute 1. So this is a single layer that you're listening to now. And you can see each element is over here. This is the, by double clicking on anything in the drum rack, you can see the individual sample. And you can see, it's going to play this. Get this recorded over here. So the whole sample sounds like this. Actually. So that's the full bongo sample. But what I want to do is make my own beat, so I'm actually taking individual beats from this layer, from this whole bongo loop, and I'm going to layer them on top of each other. So now I've got one beat there, or I could move this over. And you can see I can get individual beats like that. And to really control the sound, I'm going to use my volume, attack to decay, sustain, release envelope over here. And really set up the decay on this drum beat. And that's not very accurate at all, so what I can do is zoom way in and really set the start point at the hit of the drum. So that sounds good enough. And just make sure I'm not having any overlap here. Sounds fine. So that's basically, in a nutshell, so that's basically in a nutshell what I just did. Let's go back to that real quick. And then go back over here, turn the 2 layers on. And so what I do to get the layered effect basically is a certain sample on this layer plays a certain beat, and a certain sample on this layer plays a different beat. That's the same exact note, and then when on top of each other, they sound like that. So it gives it a deeper layered sound. So that's pretty much the bongo track. Next track I worked on was a clap track. The clap track. Same exact thing on this track. It's just 2 drum racks layered on top of each other. And you can see all these are different samples of different notes playing over here. A lot of these I added a high pass to control the sound. You can hear the difference. To really kind of, I don't want claps and hi-hats to interfere with the bottom end of the low end of the frequencies too much. So I high pass a lot of hats and claps. And then just the same basic thing. There's different samples layered on top of each other. Sometimes I'll layer the same sample on top of each other, on top of itself, and then pan it to different places. I'll stop this real quick. So for example, you can hear so that layer I'm going to pan to the right, and let's go up to clap 1, same sample, and this one I could pan to the left a little bit, and it starts to give it a stereo effect. I also use the spread, which helps give it a stereo effect. Spread gives it a nice spread in the pan with these layers. Gives it a nice, it feels like you're in an actual room listening to an actual drum kit or percussion with real resonance, reverb, echoes going on. But, alright. I also have this hat track. I don't really have much, it's not very special. I kind of recycled it from another track I had. In this case, it's 3 layers of single samples, not a drum rack. And it's kind of got a beat repeat effect, but it's not really a beat repeat effect. I just kind of doubled these notes up and used a lower velocity. And you can see I can change the velocity like that. But I keep the secondary beats kind of low in velocity. And I got a few effects on this. Just basic EQ. I've got a little bit of a ping pong here. Saturator. Probably turn that up more. 2 saturators. Another EQ. Why not? Probably wasteful. And some kind of glitch-tastic effect in here. This is some kind of effect that I've made with a whole shit ton of beat repeaters and a little bit of a filter delay here. And a little bit of a dry wet rack here. But obviously it sounds like shit, so I just turned that off. Alright. I've got a little bit of an oscillator over here. Here's the notes we have going on over in the piano roll. This is Native Instruments FM8. I kind of just played around with this. I started with a preset and I kind of started fucking with the effects a little bit. It's got this wah-wah. That's kind of fun. I got a little shelving going on. I was just kind of keeping the low end out of it. I keep the low end out of a lot of my stuff. This is just a filter, basically. It's a high pass and a low pass. Some kind of tube amp here. A little bit of distortion. Not much. Chorus. I'm not sure what that's all about. And the timbre does a lot of good stuff. Sounds horrible apparently, so we're just gonna leave it alone. Anyway, then I mess around with those feedbacks. Okay, so whatever, that sounds good enough. And then after that I've got some EQ going on. That's with no EQ right there. I really peaked it up here.